right, back for another therapy session in the girls' room. That is where I talk to you about my findings and my week. And it's Friday. Happy Friday. TGIF. And I had a realization last Tuesday that I need to stop messing around. And I think I have to just get married. I think I have reached that stage where I know what I want and I have to do something to get it. Like the back and forth of, oh, do I not? That's still kind of floating in the air, but it's mostly floating because I haven't met anyone to take me out of that whirlwind. So I'm like, I don't really want it because there are no contenders. Like if there was just like bachelors that were eligible everywhere, then I'd be like, yeah, want to get married today. I feel like my attitude would be different. But I had a moment where I was really like lost on what I want right now. And I feel like I sound like a broken record, but I don't know why it's been so hard for me to always like reject this notion of wanting to be in a relationship or feeling like marriage is something I really want as opposed to something I feel entitled to have at some point and something that's just going to magically happen, because that's where I'm at. I'm like, it's just going to happen, it's fine. But if I were to be realistic, like, yeah, I am 32 and I want to have a good life with my husband and my kids, and I, for the longest time, it's like, well, do I want that now? Because I don't feel like, I really want it now, or I don't feel ready, and I also just haven't met anybody that I consider marriage material. Also figuring out if I'm marriage material, just like so many things, but time's a ticking. And not to put any time pressure on it, but it's like, when you know what you want, now you have to go get it. And I'm at that go get it stage with career, with me, and now with a man. It's so hard to say, but yeah, let's get into it in the girls' room while I do something with my hair, maybe in my face. I want to mess around with it. Like it's so weird because I feel like I've always kind of had this confidence in what I want, who I am for the most part. Like that's shifting, but men, they just changed the game. Like, I feel like they can change, they do actually just change your outlook on things, change how you move based off of how they're acting or not acting, and just their presence in your life and in your mind. I don't know that I've ever even thought about men in this way before, but I kind of have to. It's like, if I keep on saying I want to be married, I want to have kids, like, kind of put up or shut up. I've tried the dating apps. I've tried kind of given it like a good old, college try. But I just don't really like them. I'm actually on one right now. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gotta do this numbers game because I had that realization that it's time to go. It's time to get married. It's time to stop messing around. Like, let me just go on dates. Let men meet me. And it doesn't have to be that deep. And it's still going to take time to be ready. So this is just like the dating stage, I guess. And I'm probably just going to have to interview all these guys. Like, hey, what are you doing? Who are you? What are you about? Let's go out. And then just knock them off my list. I don't anticipate that being hard. Like, I feel like we should just be able to pick people and say, let's just go on a date. Let's go out once. No pressure. Like, I'm not trying to marry you tomorrow, but I am trying to see if we have a connection or if I get along with you. I have to almost go and check every man in LA. That would be an interesting goal of yeah, there are certain things I can't compromise on. I'm not asking a man out, but I'll be more proactive for sure. I gotta be. I'm not gonna go back on it. As I noted and realized in my last rant and therapy session was that self-love is so important, and I've been exhibiting just like certain behaviors that come about having self-love when it comes to these men. I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going for that, because if you've appeared in front of me and we like the way each other looks at the very least, or have something in common, and there's nothing that happens, then there's nothing that's probably gonna happen, and that's fine. You're just kind of not for me. Self-love is telling myself, and not even telling myself, just making it a habit to put me first. And if I want communication a certain way, or if I want someone and they don't want me back, that is a-okay. I'm moving on. I'm not gonna press the issue. You will probably never hear from me again. I need to channel that, like, fully. I feel like it's getting there with certain people. Well, no, it's getting there for sure. And I like it. I can't even like just tell myself, oh, don't care, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It means he's not interested. But then once you, oh, my hair is like, what? I feel like once you actually look at actions, for me at least, beyond words, because, actually it's like a merge of the two. It's like I'm looking at how you're acting versus how we interact in person. Like when I'm not in front of your face, or we're not flirting, like, are we still flirting when we're not in proximity to each other? And if the answer is no, we're not, then you don't like me. And that's okay. It makes it really easy to just not care when you reach out again. I'm just like, oh, I forgot about this guy. Hey, what's up, bro? You don't want to get in the bro zone or the friend zone. Nobody wants to be in the friend zone. I do not. Not right now. Well, it depends. You could be friends if I actually just don't like you. But if I like you, I don't even want to speak to you. We're not gonna be friends. Why would I be friends with someone that I'm attracted to? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, yeah, we could be like fake friends for a little bit. But like friends? No, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to maneuver that properly, because I'm gonna be flirty with you, and then I'm gonna be like, bro, we're flirting, what's up? And he's gonna be like, what? And I'm gonna be like, what? You can't be friends with attractive platonic people of the opposite sex. You just can't. If you're attracted to them, this is going to be an ASMR because I don't feel like speaking loud. If you're attracted to one of your platonic friends of the opposite sex, you need to not be friends with them. Or, suffer the consequences. Heartbreak. Just hysteria. Now knowing that I can't just put marriage off in the future, like I'm gonna get married one day and I actually have to do something. I think I'm like, oh, okay, I have to do something. But I know that when I've put weird pressure and expectations on things, it doesn't matter, or it matters. When I put weird expectations on it and just pressure, it doesn't end well. Like, I'm not really myself. I'm only myself when I'm pretty much tricking myself, and I'm not like, or I just don't put too much on meeting each person, because it really has to be a numbers game. Like, I can't just say it. I can't just say, oh, I have to go on all these dates. Okay, cool. So what does that mean when it's a numbers game? Are you going to put all your emotions in one basket? No. Are you going to do the traditional, like, I don't know, make him wait, or text back when he texts back? I don't know if that's traditional or just kind of childish or just like gender rolly. But no, I don't have time for that because it's a numbers game. So what's up? No. So I don't want to talk to you for longer than a couple weeks or a month because you're filling up the line. So I need to get in line. I need to go out with my game face on and just, there are pretty people in LA for the most part. I kind of want to attract a little bad boy, a low one. So I gotta figure out where I want to go. Like, kind of a bad boy, but that's like an owner. Like, I feel like 50 Cent, or what's his face from Power, Ghost, his character of the like refined gangster that's business minded and ambitious, but like will fight for you. That would be great. So where did they go? Where are they? Because it's not about, like pressuring someone or tricking someone into something they don't want to do. It's just about putting yourself in the situation. So where am I going to put myself? Well, I guess for now, we'll try the whole dating app. We'll try Hinge again and just see. I mean, I always get off of it because I just kind of realize I hate it. But not this time. This time, I will wait. Actually, I don't think I want to put that on. Try this out again. Different approach. The approach is totally fine reaching out to you because this is a weird form anyways. I will let you know that I'm interested by asking questions that I would ask a friend. No, that I would ask on an interview, because this is where I'm at right now. We are interviewing men to be my husband. I mean, obviously these are going to be men that want to be, and it's not just like, okay, great, I'm going to hide you in a closet and now you're my husband. But no, just like understanding now what I want for sure. Like, obviously I've always wanted to be married, blah blah blah, but it just seems so distant and like a fairy tale almost, that I didn't feel like, not that I didn't feel like it was within reach, because like everybody's married, that's not a huge thing, but I definitely feel like a special case sometimes, like, and I am in a good way, but I'm also don't feel like I put any emphasis on really meeting somebody for real and trying to have a connection. Like, that gives me, like, my heart is like, connection, meet, connect, date, like all of that stuff gives me like the little heart palpitations, a little like do. I'm like, why do I like get anxiety when I think about being in a relationship? That seems crazy. Has it always been like this? I think now it's just kind of getting real. Like, when you're young, you don't have to think about anything. I'm like, I'm not thinking about boys. I'm not thinking about marriage. I know it's going to happen. But now I'm in the process and step of like, oh, you have to make it happen. I'm like, oh my God. What does that mean? Make it happen. Okay. So I have to allow people to get to know me. I have to get to know others, because it doesn't even really matter, especially on this numbers game. I'll be open and honest with you. What's the harm? Like, why am I hiding myself? Because this doesn't have to work out. So I would rather you know everything about me and choose to leave early, like, oh, I've only known you for a couple months, it's all good, as opposed to you getting to know and me getting to know only the best versions of each other. And so when another season hits, we're like, whoa, 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 I don't know this person. Like, I don't want to have to go through that again. Or it's like, I thought you were this. And I'm like, well, okay, that's on you for thinking I'm like not a dimensional person and I just have one side of me. But yeah, I understand the need to really put it all out there. I think as soon as possible. Give both of ourselves an opportunity to say yes or no. And I have such excitement knowing that I am not thinking about anyone. Excited only because no man on my radar or in my orbit has earned the right for me to think about them in a very humble way. Like, and I probably haven't done the same to them. And so it's really good to know, oh, both of us aren't thinking about each other. You're stupid. But no, it's just good to know that no one has me in a chokehold. No one has me in a chokehold right now. And that's really good because I almost felt myself for a split second, maybe like 2 to 3 seconds, diving in to a vortex or allowing myself to be like swept into something just fantasy wise. It's like, oh wow, that was nice, he was cute, this was great. I'm like, wait a second, leave it there. Like, I like leaving days where they are, every day is fresh. And I think that that's a good kind of rule of thumb. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And you know what a hell yes looks like. It looks like effort, it looks like conversation and communication. And I do this with you often. I'm always in here talking to you because I love you. And this is self-love. And this is me knowing what I want. And so me knowing that I want to continue to have self-love for myself, I'm back here because this is how I am showing up for myself in therapy with you. This is my therapy session. I had a really nice introductory therapy session with my cousin, who is literally like my best friend in my brain. I have to chill sometimes because I super fangirl over her. As my friend said, it's like, you really fangirl over your cousins. I'm like, I know. They're so cool. But it was nice to therapize with another person, to self-diagnose myself and just kind of reel myself into what is always the topic, which is love, and mostly for me, self-love. I cannot give up on that. Now knowing that I have to start dating and I have to start doing all this stuff, I cannot abandon self-love. And I'm actually just thinking about this guy that I just met that I think is stupid cute. But I'm like over it, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of being, I mean, I should have never even been thinking about it because it was just like a moment of just like, oh my God, he's so attractive. And I know his name and now we're following each other. Yeah. It should never even, ever. I should never be excited about anyone ever. I think that's where I net out. The sooner I take them off of a pedestal, the better it is for me. And yeah, fine, I can like them, I can admire them. It's like, oh, you're attractive. But I cannot put them on a pedestal of like, ooh, I want from him, her, whatever. Absolutely not. It's like, hey, I just met a cool person. I'm also a very cool person, so maybe we'll connect, maybe we won't. But once I start putting somebody in this box of like, ooh, maybe we can date, maybe we can be romantic. And who knows, I even want that. Like, I kind of think that, but I haven't really been acting on this lover girl thing. Um, but the sooner I'm like, oh, over it, found an ick. Like, honestly, always find an ick. And it's not even like an icky, like, ooh, he's gross ick. But just like, I didn't like that. Like, I didn't like that text. And so I'm done. I'm done with you. You're dead to me. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about a couple guys. And that's okay because it's not like a bad energy. It's just like, oh, you mean nothing to me. You mean the same as any other man, which is kind of nothing. In a good way. Like, respect, love. If I see you, we'll speak, we'll have a great time, we'll go out, but that's it. You know? Like, you're not really much until you actually put in some effort and work for me, because I don't even think I'm a lot of work, but the work that you put in just looks different. Like, the work you'll have to do for someone else is not the same work you'll have to do for me. And I value the type of work you'll have to do for me because it's not crazy. It's not overly extensive. It's actually pretty freaking simple. And it's catered to me. Like, I hate when people treat me like they just treat anyone else. Treat me like I'm a placeholder. Like every woman, every black woman, because people keep reminding me I'm black. It's like, oh, well, this is my experience with you guys, so this is going to be my experience with you. And then maybe you end up getting the same experience, because I'm like, don't treat me like just a group, you know? The same thing that you said to her might not work for me. You know, it might get you a different result. Don't be mad. And most of the time, guys are not mad at me. They're just like, oh, what's going on? You can't really be mad at me. I'm a nice girl, you know? But I might not be super easy to read because I'm not really going to be up on you and texting you or calling you. I don't know what other women do, I guess, but I don't know. I just feel like I would date me in a heartbeat. And so I'm not pressed about these guys. It's just like all that energy and all that self-love and all that, like, remember who you are is back in full effect. It really never left. It was just being suppressed a little bit. And I'm like, don't think about age. It's fine. Let them in. I don't know. Like, you have these stages and phases. But the other day when I was like, oh, I need a husband. Let me act right. Let me actually just start going out with the intention on finding a husband at some point. You know, it's not tomorrow, but just like, who are you? What do you do? Let's connect. Like, what's your info? But obviously make it so that they're asking me. I just have to stand there, flirt, you know, pretty simple. And not go overboard. Like, I probably won't ask, are you single? Because that's just a little too much for me. They can ask me. Like, you take the risks. I'll take the reward. And we'll just kind of go from there. Like, there were a couple people that actually like the moments where I was more like forthcoming, and I was just like, hey, like, what are you up to? What do you do? What's your name? Like, ask all the questions. And we connect briefly, and then I find out something about them because I ask. And then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll circle around later. Maybe not. Or, thanks for telling me. I now can make the early decision to talk to you or not talk to you, which is really great and so much better than playing it cool after we've already kind of expressed interest and we're talking and not really asking questions. Just like, oh yeah, it's just like a flirt over the phone. It's like, no, I want to know who you are. Like, what are your passions? Like, who do you and how do you describe yourself? Where do you want to be? It's an interview, but it's a fun interview. Like, let's do something fun. Let's do something outside. Do something athletic, maybe, like play some tennis, because that, like, kills two birds with one stone. Now I know that you are athletic. I mean, if you show up properly to tennis, because then I can find out you're not athletic or you don't have any, like, hand-eye coordination. Then I'm like, thank you. Thank you for coming. I will never see you again. I remember I played ping pong with this guy on like our date or whatever. And well, actually, we also played chess at dinner. Well, at the restaurant because I didn't really eat. I wasn't hungry, and then I became super hungry, and I was like, I'm just gonna go home. I'm gonna go home. We played chess. He won because I was also kind of like, this is really weird to play chess at a restaurant at our table, and I couldn't really get into it for real because it was also at night, and I'm like, yeah, I brought it, and I guess maybe I'm not as spontaneous as I thought. This one's just weird. Like we could go outside and play. It was kind of cool, wherever. And then we played ping pong because they had a table outside, and he beat me the first one, which was cool. But I had a ping pong table in high school in my house, so I was like, that's cool. I know that I'm so good. I beat him the second time and the third time, and he was just like, because he was talking a lot. He was talking a lot of mess when he was beating me. He was like, oh, it's okay. Maybe that's not mess, but he was talking a big game, kind of like he was good. He was acting like, yeah, and I was like, cool. What? Beat him bad too. Because I'm like, I'm not even trying to be overly competitive, but I know I'm good at it. So I'm not gonna play around with you. For what? You beat me at chess, now I'm beating you at a man's game. Now I'm beating you when it really matters. Real athleticism. Fine, you're more strategic in chess. Maybe it was checkers, even worse. It was checkers. But yeah, I wasn't in it, and I haven't played checkers in like 20 years because who plays checkers? Like, how do you even play that anymore? But yeah, I beat him where I think it counted. Agility, endurance, hand-eye coordination. But I wasn't rude about it. I wasn't a jerk. I was just like, maybe next time. But I like when you beat me. I like when men beat me because I like having to work for a win. And I work really hard. I play the best I ever play when it comes to playing, like, especially an athletic sport with somebody better than me. You're always supposed to be around people that are better, smarter, all the things, because it really levels you up, like, for real. And that's the goal. Like, I'm gonna need you to beat me though. Like, I'll push you, you push me, but you are gonna be the man of the house. So you're gonna need to be a little stronger. I'll be your cheerleader, and I'll also like practice with you. Make sure you're good for whatever race or game or match you have. You can play with me at least for funsies. I'll make you sweat a little bit. But ultimately, I know what I have to do. I just have to do it. It's not a numbers game in a way that it's disrespectful to men. They're not a piece of meat, and neither am I. But I have to actually start asking questions. That's something I never do, because that to me is taking it serious and taking it to the next step. So it's game time, I guess. Until next time in the girls' room.